All right, Jay, we've talked about making horror film, making a thriller,
Mhm.
making a mix of the two. Um, a big element in those films are the atmosphere, the mood. Something needs to be different,
Yeah.
right? Something needs to be a little uncomfortable, a little surrealistic for those things to work. How do you go about creating that?
So for me, when I am writing a story, I'll do an outline first, the characters, the setting, and then I decide what kind of what kind of subgenre. Because I feel like with horror, there's so many different subgenres that's how you'll know what the atmosphere will be. So if I know, like with Leia, it's a haunted house movie, so I knew I wanted the atmosphere to feel very almost nightmare-like, mixed with a dream, then with doses of reality. And I really looked at watching like Dario Argento, especially for the lighting with certain aspects, and the old like those old fashioned gothic renaissance haunted mansion movies.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like a blend of the two. So I knew that there could be moments where it's just slow and drawn out, and then when the demons and stuff appear, it's done in a very nightmare way.
Okay, so I've shot one horror film, and it
Mm.
was an improv horror film. So
Uh,
I haven't even finished editing it because I had to like take a break and I'm
yeah.
gonna look at this in a little bit and
Mm.
figure out what can be done with it. Um, but it's very different um, to shooting the typical scripted piece
Mm.
because there's a lot of silence.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the actor, maybe not acting in a way that's very obvious with speaking dialogue, but
Mm.
how do you get that kind of a performance that you're looking for to suit the mood of the piece?
Like for the silent moments, I feel like with me, with the actors, we kind of come up with a full-on backstory and describing what your character's journey is and what's entailing. So, like with Leia, that one was not very dialogue heavy. So there are a lot of moments where it's just the lead actress Christina Toff like wandering around this like mansion, and she's sensing that something's around. So, but there's something because I think she's a ballet dancer. So there was something with like she knew how to work her eyes and her body to where you could whatever emotion needed to be there, you could just sense it with the body. She didn't even have to open her mouth.
Good.
And
Yeah.
like when you work with actors, especially that have dance backgrounds, they know how to work their face and their body to where the audience knows exactly where their mind space is, and they don't even have to say a word of dialogue.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
I
especially
didn't
with the
know that.
last moment, like the last moment in the movie, like when she spoiler alert dies. There's I've never seen this before, but like I actually like thought she died. Like the way she moved her eyes, she knew the way she contorted her face. I felt like I was witnessing like someone dying, but that's how good she is because she knows how to use everything with the body. And I was like, wow, like I was just impressed that when you work with an actor like that, you're just reading everything. And I saw all the sorrow and pain that her character's feeling leave her with the eyes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
So, we're talking about the mood and everything. The actors are a big part of that.
yeah.
Um, Talk a little bit about the casting process.
So with me, I'm very like how Ryan Murphy and Rob Zombie do, where they have like their troupe of actors
Hmm.
they bring back, and then they'll bring in a few like new actors they never worked with. So that's where I've been. Like I'll bring actors back that I enjoyed working with, and a lot of the times, a lot of the actors that I'm friends with, I'll write a part for them that I know that they've never played before, or something that their agents are not sending them out. Like with my film Taste, Danielle, who played the rapist, she was always getting sent out to play because she was a natural blonde, blue eyes, always getting sent out to play like the stereotypical girlfriend or like pretty girl role, and she wanted to do something that she could sink her teeth in to, and I since I'm friends with her, I could tell that she would really nail something really dark and intense. So then I wrote the part of the photographer for her, and I had her change her whole look. I had her dye her hair like almost black brown. I picked out the wardrobe. So I'm very like that with the actors where I can mold a look for them. Same with Christina when she auditioned to be the model in Taste. My two casting assistants weren't sure because she didn't look like a model when she went in. But the thing is, that's why I like to do my own castings because I can look at a headshot and I could tell if I'm gonna like someone's acting. It's like a weird, I don't know, like psychic thing. I don't know.
Filmmaker, sixth sense.
Yeah, I'll like look at a picture and I'll like somehow be like, I could tell if they're a good actor and I could see how I can mold them to physically look like the part. So like with Christina, I had her dye her hair ice blonde and I picked out her wardrobe and everyone that watches the movie thought she was like a real like working model. So that's why I like to do my own castings because I know how to work with the actors to build it so that they are fully believable as the character and stuff like that. And I like challenging my friends to do roles that they might be nervous to because I know both of them were so nervous about doing heavy subject matter, but that fact that they were dedicated to the script, it's like it shows. And a lot of my actors friends like they never get roles like this, and I kind of like sometimes I like enjoying just writing the roles for them more than me being like, ooh, my next film. Like I just love watching actors and like seeing them bring something to life that was created on paper or the laptop.
That's great. I love writing roles for people.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it's when I work with a new person, a new actor. It's either like, all right, there's one new person, and they're a very important role, or I may like to just get to know someone, have them play a smaller role at first, so I get a feel for who they are, their range, and what they'd like to do, and then I will always, when I write a character, I need to see what that character looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So if I think, oh, this guy's perfect, he's never played a role like this, or if they have played a role like it before, how can I twist it so it's something different and a challenge for them?
Yeah, that's like with my friend Jess Davis. She's been in my film's Taste, Leia, and then she's the lead in my feature play. So she had a smaller part in Taste, but like I remember when she came in the audition room, I was like, oh, she gets me. Like it's just she just did the audition, and like we've been friends since we shot Taste in 2015. And like Leia, she played the witch, so it was like I like knew how to write stuff for her that she wasn't getting to. And for me, I just love working with her because she's always like up for anything.
That's great. It's good to have important.
Yeah.
It's good to have actors that you can count on and you're so familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So now back to the mood. We've got the characters. Setting is so important. What do you look for? Because a lot like a photography studio full of bright light, right? Nothing threatening there.
Mm-hmm. So like with me, like I've lucked out with the only movie I've ever had to like rent a location for was for Taste. All the other films I like an actor or a friend will let me use their place, but their places have all worked out perfectly, like fit exactly when I'm writing. It fits the story. Like for Leia, the haunted house, my friend, her parents are always saying, OJ, you should just film a movie here one day. And I was like, well, I need to take them up on that. And then it presented itself one summer, and the way I don't know if you remember, but the architecture of the house, it like has two spikes, so it almost looked like Satan's horns.
Ooh, okay.
That haunted house movie, and I was like, oh wow, it just works so and it's like made of wood, so it looks just like a dark mask with horns, and they had the hot tub room that could easily be molded into like a witch's cavern or whatever, and I was like, that's why I realized, ooh, I never had to do set decorating for any of my films. Just the locations I've always got fit exactly by luck.
Yeah.
What I was envisioning,
That's great. The one thing I do remember from that film was the, I guess it was the hot tub, the pool scene, and with the steam and everything, it just made it seem, a little surreal and a little like a horror movie. Do you use fog or smoke a lot?
I think for Leia, that was pretty much the only film where I used like the smoke, and my cinematographer Chris Lind, I love the way he did it because I know when we were doing pre-production, I told him I pictured just Suspiria Argento lighting, and the way he made the film just in that scene, it was like he used like red, pink, and blue hues. So like when the water there was a shot of Mark Geller who played the ghost, that the way the water would ripple and then all the colors are going, like it looked like stained glass like going on his body, and I was just really impressed with that.
Neat. That's awesome. All right, great. Thanks so much for talking with me. Where can we see your work?
So I have my first 4 films on YouTube on public, and then if anybody wants to see my like serious thrillers, I guess they could like message me on Facebook or Instagram, because I don't have them on any streaming networks yet, but that's the goal.
Okay.
And then on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right, great. And I'll have links to those in the description.
All right.
Jay, this has been great. Thank you so much for going into depth with us.
Thank you for having me. I hope you have a good day.
You too.